Have you ever pondered about the connection between drug abuse and mental health? As we navigate through the complexities of life, it's crucial to understand the significant link between drug use and mental health. This isn't just a conversation about the adverse effects of drug misuse. It's about understanding how drug use and mental health disorders intersect and influence each other in a cyclic pattern. In recent years, we've seen a worrying rise in drug abuse rates and mental health issues across the globe. From the bustling metropolises to the quiet rural areas, no corner of our world is exempt from this pressing concern. It's a challenge that transcends borders, cultures, and socioeconomic statuses. Let's delve into some numbers to put things into perspective. The World Health Organization reports that globally, nearly 300 million people suffer from anxiety, while around 260 million grapple with depression. Simultaneously, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime estimates that over 250 million adults used an illicit drug in the past year. The correlation between drug abuse and mental health disorders is significant. Drug misuse can lead to mental health problems, and conversely, individuals with mental health issues are more likely to turn to drugs as a form of self-medication. This creates a vicious cycle, a revolving door of substance abuse and deteriorating mental health, each feeding into the other. For instance, someone suffering from anxiety might turn to drugs to calm their nerves, only to find that the drugs exacerbate their anxiety over time. Similarly, an individual battling depression might use drugs to feel a moment of happiness, but this temporary solution often deepens their depression in the long run. This intersection of drug use and mental health is a complex and multifaceted issue. It's not something we can brush under the carpet. It's a topic that deserves our attention, our understanding, and our action. It's a conversation we need to have, and it starts with awareness. Unraveling this connection will shed light on the impact of drug abuse on mental health and vice versa. Dive into the world of facts and figures to understand the extent of this crisis. As we delve deeper into the subject, it's crucial to know that drug abuse and mental health issues are not isolated problems. They are often intertwined, creating a complex web of challenges for those affected. Research indicates that around 50% of individuals with severe mental disorders are affected by substance abuse. This correlation is not a mere coincidence. Mental health issues can lead to drug abuse, as individuals may resort to substances as a form of self-medication. On the other hand, prolonged drug abuse can lead to the development or exacerbation of existing mental health conditions. When we examine who is most affected by these issues, it becomes clear that no demographic is immune. However, certain groups bear a disproportionate burden. Young adults, for example, are particularly vulnerable. According to recent studies, approximately 1 in 5 young adults struggles with both a substance use disorder and a mental health disorder. Similarly, it's important to consider the impact of these issues on marginalized communities. For instance, people living in poverty are nearly twice as likely to develop mental health conditions and are at a higher risk of falling into the vicious cycle of drug abuse. Racial and ethnic minorities also face unique challenges. Systemic barriers often prevent these groups from accessing the necessary resources to prevent and treat substance abuse and mental health issues. In the LGBTQ+ community, the rates of substance use and mental health disorders are alarmingly high. The stress that comes from daily battles with discrimination and stigma can lead to increased rates of depression, anxiety, and subsequently, substance abuse. Lastly, we mustn't forget about the veterans. Those who have served in the military are often left grappling with post-traumatic stress disorder and other mental health conditions, making them more susceptible to substance abuse. The numbers speak for themselves, emphasizing the urgency of addressing this pressing concern. The more we understand about the prevalence and demographics of drug abuse and mental health issues, the better equipped we are to respond effectively. What happens when drug abuse intersects with mental health? This is a question that unfortunately rings true for many people worldwide. The relationship between drug abuse and mental health is complex and deeply interwoven. Drug abuse can exacerbate pre-existing mental health issues, creating a vicious cycle that's difficult to break. On the flip side, mental health issues can also lead to drug abuse. For instance, an individual battling depression may turn to drugs as a form of self-medication, a misguided attempt to escape or alleviate their symptoms. This, however, only serves to deepen the depression and exacerbate the overall mental health condition. The mental health disorders most commonly linked with drug abuse are depression, anxiety, and bipolar disorder. Each of these conditions can fuel the cycle of drug abuse and lead to a worsening of symptoms. Depression can deepen, anxiety can become more pronounced, and the highs and lows of bipolar disorder can become even more extreme. The impacts of drug abuse on mental health are profound and far-reaching. Cognitive impairment is a common consequence, with the individual experiencing difficulties with memory, attention, and decision-making. The brain's natural chemistry is disrupted, leading to mood disorders such as depression and anxiety. Perhaps the most alarming impact is the increased risk of suicide. The despair and hopelessness that often accompany drug abuse can drive individuals to consider, attempt, or commit suicide. This is a stark reminder of the devastating toll that drug abuse can take on mental health. Drug abuse and mental health issues are interconnected, each feeding off and exacerbating the other. This cycle can be incredibly difficult to break, but understanding the relationship and its consequences is the first step towards healing. The effects of this intersection are far-reaching and often devastating. But remember, awareness is the first step towards change. In our next segment, we will explore prevention and treatment options to combat drug abuse and protect mental health. Because no matter how dark the night, there is always hope for a new dawn. How do we break the cycle of drug abuse and mental health issues? It might seem like a daunting question, but there are promising solutions we can explore. First and foremost, early intervention and prevention strategies are key. It's like a leaky faucet. If we ignore it, the problem only gets worse, and before we know it, we're dealing with a flood. The same applies to drug abuse and mental health issues. If we can identify the early signs of drug use and the onset of mental health problems, we can intervene before they escalate into more serious conditions. Now, let's talk about treatment options. It's crucial to understand that drug abuse and mental health issues often go hand in hand. Therefore, treating them separately might not yield the desired results. Integrated treatment approaches, which address both issues simultaneously, have proven to be more effective. These approaches may include medication, therapy, or a combination of both, tailored to the individual's unique needs. But treatment is just one piece of the puzzle. We also need to consider how societal support, education, and healthcare reforms can play a part. Societal support can foster understanding and reduce the stigma associated with these issues. Education can equip individuals with the knowledge to make informed decisions about drug use and to understand the impact on their mental health. And healthcare reforms, they can ensure that everyone, regardless of their circumstances, has access to the help they need. It's like building a bridge. Each pillar, prevention, treatment, societal support, education, and healthcare reforms, supports the structure, making it strong and resilient. Each pillar is crucial in its own way, and together, they can help us to break the cycle of drug abuse and mental health issues. With the right approach, breaking the cycle is not just a possibility, it is a reality we can work towards. Because every individual deserves a chance to live a healthy, fulfilling life. And that is a goal worth striving for. The intersection of drug abuse and mental health is a crisis that requires immediate attention. Throughout this discussion, we've explored the complexities of this crisis, the intertwined relationship between substance use and mental health, and the heartbreaking consequences of their unchecked progression. We've seen how drug abuse can exacerbate mental health issues, leading to a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. We've also learned about the profound impact of this crisis on individuals, families, and society as a whole. The consequences are far-reaching and devastating, from deteriorating health and strained relationships to economic hardship and loss of life. But it's not all doom and gloom. We've also looked at prevention strategies and treatment options that are available. These include early intervention, mental health counseling, medication, support groups, and rehabilitation programs. While these solutions are effective, they are not sufficient. They need to be supplemented with broader societal efforts. This is where you come in. It's time for a call to action. We need to work collectively to address this issue. We need to spread awareness about the dangers of drug abuse and the importance of mental health. We need to break the stigma associated with these issues and promote open, honest conversations. We need to support initiatives aimed at preventing drug abuse and improving mental health services. There are various ways to contribute. You can share educational materials, donate to relevant organizations, volunteer your time, or simply talk about these issues with your family and friends. You can also advocate for policies that prioritize mental health and substance abuse treatment. Remember, every single action counts in this battle against drug abuse and mental health issues. Change starts with individual actions, and these actions, when multiplied by millions of people, can lead to significant improvements. Together, we can make a difference. Let's take a stand against drug abuse and fight for better mental health. Remember, every single action counts in this battle against drug abuse and mental health issues. Together, we can make a difference.